Yeah, welcome back. I am back with another channeling session. I took a couple days away, and my husband and I went and celebrated our 18th anniversary. So I'm now back for another channeling session. We'll see what they have to bring in. But I did notice that the Schumann resonance has been off the charts over the past weekend, the past few days. So hopefully, if you are affected by ascension symptoms or all this incoming energy, you're weathering the storm well. Um, don't forget grounding. That's been hugely helpful to both myself and my husband as we moved past the last few days because it was pretty intense there. And I've noticed as well that we're getting a lot of new energy, but also a lot of triggers being pulled, a lot of old stuff coming up that you may need to work through. So that's something I have noticed as well. So if you're being affected by any of that, I hope you're doing well, and remember the basics, they do help. So we'll see what Spirit has to tell us, and I will try to step out of the way as much as I can. Thanks so much. Just take a moment here to connect, and we'll see what they have to say. This is Mother Mary. We come to you today with the expectation that we are bringing new messages forth. However, it is important that our channel allows us to reiterate an earlier message. And this is due to the fact that there are many on the planet currently wallowing in, for some, self pity, for others, the fear and anger of what is happening on the planet around you. And once again, we feel the need to allow ourselves to be heard, reiterating that it is of the utmost importance that you protect your peace. At this point in time, there is a frequency war of sorts that is occurring. That war is being fought for the upper hand with regard to frequency. Your frequencies as the inhabitants of the planet is what is at stake. For you see, there are what we would term somewhat malevolent forces that wish to keep humanity exactly where it is and where it has been for centuries. And that is what we are currently fighting against. The light that is coming in, that is washing the planet in higher frequency, is not only for the planet's good, but it is for yours as the inhabitants of the planet. You are all absorbing these frequencies, and it is assisting you in increasing your own frequency so that the fear and anger and war driven, emotional, low density frequency that has been dominant on this planet for so long will be eradicated and replaced by that of a higher frequency. The ascension process is the physical and frequency related upheaval that is related to replacing these lower densities with higher density frequencies. As this is happening, it does bring with it some ascension symptoms, and this can and does make some people feel rather poorly for a period of time. However, this is replaced rather quickly by increased health, by increased emotional stability, and increased frequency. Over longer term, this increased frequency becomes your predominant way of being. However, in order to get here, it is of the utmost importance that you stop allowing your frequencies to be manipulated. There is a term that this channel most recently came into awareness of, and that term is the new cage. We allow this term and encourage you to see it for what it is, and that is an attempt at alerting others to the fact that there is some measure of manipulation and distortion happening in the field for even those who believe that they are a part of the ascension process. This is happening because the malevolent forces that we made mention of earlier are not going quietly. They wish to remain in power, and they wish to continue to manipulate and distort the truth so that those of you who are in the ascension process will be waylaid or manipulated into maintaining your place in the matrix. This does not need to happen. In order to continue to stay in the organic ascension timeline and refuse to be manipulated, you need only remain in the light. What do we mean by remaining in the light? We mean that protection of your peace comes at the forefront of all that you do. If you are in a conversation with others and the conversation turns to the atrocities that are occurring in the planet, or disgust over what one politician or another is doing, or anger over what is happening, there are many ways that this can be addressed. One can choose to attempt to turn the conversation to the positive. What is it that you can do in order to alleviate some stress or help in some way? For example, if one is concerned about the homeless in your city or direct area, you could offer your time or services in assisting the homeless with either food banks or blankets or something of that nature. If the conversation turns to politicians or discussed with the local or broader political scale, one can attempt to alert the other party that politics is part of a greater machine that has been in use for centuries to control the masses. This is not something that needs to be paid attention to. The ramifications of such focus are that it serves to decrease your frequency, and that is what they are attempting to do. By allowing this to happen, you are playing right into the hands of those who wish to manipulate. If you wish to actually remain sovereign and stop from being manipulated, you need only turn your attention to yourself and your immediate environment. There is nothing on the news that needs to be the focus of your awareness. Instead, choose to be aware of how it is that your body feels today. What is it that you can and should do for those in your immediate environment? How do you show love? How do you continue to show that love to yourself and to the others that are in your immediate environment? By focusing on these things instead of what is happening on the world stage, you are allowing yourself to be a sovereign being, and that is the point of the ascension. The point is to bring back the awareness that we are all one, that we are all part of a greater whole, and that together we can move mountains. We can allow ourselves to have the glorious future that most would like to see. And this starts with sovereign awareness of your own frequency, your vibration, and the refusal to be manipulated. Being a sovereign being is about your insistence on protecting your peace. We encourage you to remember this above all else, because it is how your power begins to be retrieved. For too long, those on this planet have allowed others to manipulate them and to push them into positions of low density and low vibration. The time for this is over now, and we encourage you to begin to protect your peace as a means of taking back your own power, of recognizing that you are a sovereign being who has much more power than you've been led to believe. And for that reason, we remain with you. We love you. That is all. And that's a repeat message for those who have listened to the other messages, but I guess they felt the need to reiterate. Protection of our peace is really important right now in every area. I know there's a lot going on out there, but I, for one, choose not to listen to any of it. If I cannot cause any sort of direct effect, then I try not to worry about it and trust that we're moving in the right direction. There are enough of us here doing just this and beginning to recognize our own sovereignty and our own desires to create a more harmonious future. And I am completely here for it. So I focus on that and I let the rest go because I'm not in control of it anyway. So hopefully you all can do the same. I know that it can be difficult at times, but if you really protect that sphere around you and try to stay in that that sovereign space, it's definitely helpful. So hope everybody's doing well. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to drop them here and I will address them in a later visit. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye.